In the last 10 years, I spent $60,000 and made back just 4. On paper, that looks insane. And honestly, some days it does feel insane because that money could have gone anywhere else. So it cost me $60,000 to make $4,000. If you're looking for a guy to advise you how to invest your money, I know a guy. And also, if you bought an $800 3D printer, like my Bamboo P1P, and only use it to 3D print trinkets and figurines, just remember how I pissed away a lot more for almost no reward. And if it makes you any happier, my Form 2 SLA printer was $3,600, and it probably ran through less than a liter of resin in the 8 years that I own it. For the last 10 years, any bit of my disposable income has gone into buying tools and machines. And I know $60,000 sounds like a lot. It's because it is. But if you consider the fact that I didn't go anywhere fancy for vacation, and thanks to my understanding wife, we stuck to living pretty frugally. And we put the house repairs on hold for way longer than we should. And then, so yeah, but over the 10 years, this amount is not as astronomical as it sounds. With the 10 years at least, you know. So it made me buy all this stuff. Came up with an idea for a product a while ago, and I stuck with it. My wishful self hopes that I will start making and selling these digital levels for electricians in US. This is something I came up with, like I said, 10 years ago. The time I could just keep repeating in 10 years. So yeah, I came up with this a while ago. When I first came up with this, it looked totally different. This is like a 100th iteration of this thing. The initial idea was just to put a calculator for offsets and stuff like that for electricians. You know, when you're bending a conduit, you're spacing out the bends in between them. Sometimes you want a little tighter bend, sometimes a little less aggressive bend. But when you bend the conduit, you mark out the conduit, and based on it, you pick the height that you want to offset your conduit over, and based on that and the angle of your choice, you mark the spacing in between the bends. And this thing calculates those spacing, and it does a lot more than that. And other things like, I thought it would be a pretty cool idea to add lights to it. So when you bend the conduit, there's some sort of indication of when you're bending the conduit, instead of looking at the little vial, you could just look at the lights, right? So I put this LED bar in here, and yeah, it's pretty intuitive. It's very intuitive. Like if you ever looked at the bubble when bending conduit, you know which way the bubble is going to travel, and when it's in the middle between the lines, that's when it's level or at an angle that you want it to be. Because like electricians' levels, if you ever seen them, they have like 4 or 5 different vials, all at different angles. So I couldn't put all these vials in here. I don't want to just make another standard level that is available in a store. I added this light bar, and 4 of these angles are already built into the bar. So as you're bending the conduit, you just cycle through different colors at different angles, and it feels very intuitive. It feels very much like a bubble, but it lights up, and it's a lot easier. You don't have to like bend over and look at the bubble and the vial. I think it's a great idea. So yeah, I went through like a lot of I went through endless iterations and adjustments just to make it feel right, and it took forever. I learned a lot over these 10 years, and I had to learn a lot of basic skills that a team of engineers would probably laugh at. But even with all my savings poured into this over the 10 years, all that money maybe would cover the cost of a single engineer that specializes in one of many, many things that that took to make this thing. Like I learned how to operate a CNC mill. I had to buy a CNC mill. To run the CNC mill, you have to know how to. Well, one thing is you have to come up with a model, right? With a 3D model of the thing and all these parts in here. Then you have to run those through another CAM software, which stands for computer assisted machining, and then you upload the code, the code to the machine. You set up the machine and you run it, and so you're looking at hiring an engineer to design this aluminum body, say, then CNC machinist that would operate this machine and program this machine, set up this machine, come up with the tools that it needs and the tool paths that need to be optimized in order for the machine to make it quick. And they're just, this just touches the tip of the iceberg here, and not to mention the electronics. There's an electronic circuit board in here that I designed myself. You could design the circuit board yourself, but what good is it if there is no code to run on the circuit board? And there is not only one circuit board, but there are three circuit boards here. One connects the USB cable, which sadly is a micro USB. I know everybody uses USB-C these days, but USB-C is wider, and then the USB-C would make the whole level wider. And the another circuit board is just for the lights, that holds the lights itself. And the main circuit board is inside here that everything is connected to. So a lot went into this, and one important thing is, me being an electrician, I know how this thing is supposed to feel. If there was anything wrong with it that I didn't like, that bothered me, I commute an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half from home to work as an electrician that I am myself. And, that gave me opportunities to take my computer out and then just fine tune all the things that, I used it at work. Something bothered me. I just reiterate it. I fix things. I don't always feel like doing it, but whatever. Yeah, so me being an electrician helped me a lot, because if there was anything wrong with it, something felt a little bit off, or I didn't like the way the menu operated, or something. Or it had too many features. Like, it was too confusing. A lot of people have, when they did take it into their hands, everybody knew when they turned it on, there was a button on top. Everybody hit that button. Like, it was so intuitive. Everybody just like, oh yeah, let me just hit the button on the top, and it turns on like that. Everybody that operated the menu, it felt pretty intuitive to them. So yeah, there's a few more things in here than just a calculator. You can set up a calculator for regular offsets. There's another one for 3-point saddles. You adjust your angles for whatever bends you want. Another one is a protractor. That's pretty much, if you don't want to use a shortcut of a top button, you just go and scroll down to the menu of the protractor, and here's your protractor. It can keep zeroing out at any angle you want. What else? So you go back to the main menu. Okay. I never really use it backwards. Here's protractor, and here's a calculator. So a calculator, there are two different modes. One of the modes is decimal. So you can go and pick your mode, decimal and fractions. So let's go with fractions, and you can just calculate your fractions. Thankfully, I see a reflection in the lens. I think it's cool. A lot of people say that this thing is not worth $180. Well, my cost just for the materials itself is almost a third of what I'm charging. So, sorry. Like, I live here in the United States, in New York. Living in New York is not cheap. To make something here in New York, and I put a lot of attention into the details. This is not cheap to make, and this doesn't feel cheap. Like everybody that had it in their hands was like, wow, like this is a quality tool. Uh, yeah, thanks for watching. I plan on sharing a lot more than just like an intro, I guess. I hate to start it off with just talking about money right off the bat, but this is what bothers me the most. Put in all this work, and like one thing was to make this thing. The other was, I want people to have it, but I want every electrician that bends conduit to have one in his tool bag. I know it's expensive, but yeah, in order for me to put this thing in everybody's tool bag, I have to keep working on this. And if I have to keep working on this, I have to make at least a little bit of money off of it. I cannot be just volunteering my time to make these things, If I want to volunteer for something, I'll probably become a fireman. I really recommend doing that. I heard it's very rewarding. Right, Jim?